Hello YouTube viewers, hopefully you guys can basically look at me without any issue and your video is working. I'm waiting for incognito window to give confirmation that audio video is working properly. A man has hope. I'm expecting things to happen. Hello YouTube viewers, hopefully. Yes, as of now I think audio and video is working flawlessly without any issue. Sorry. Okay, I just dropped my Rode Wireless Go 2. Although it's still working, so things are fine, things are all good. Okay, so let's start with today's show. So something major happened. Oh, Forking Gaming, hi to you. Hello to you. Nimbasa, working together, thank you so much. Now I have absolute confirmation that things are working. So what's the deal? The deal is the biggest deal in quite some time, and I mean freaking quite some time. To give you a context, USA can claim to be one of the oldest republic. Now be mindful, there is a bit of difference between democracy and republic. Democracy is just like majority wins. Now you might like, okay, isn't that what happened? Well, yes and no. Now you have to understand, republic is designed to filter democracy. Now problem with democracy is that, let's say you are talking about big countries like, let's say, India, China, USA, and you allowed that popular voting thing to happen, then everybody will ignore small states. Basically any small group of people will be poofed. They will become minority and they will be poofed. Now here's the deal, when I'm talking about minority, it does not mean it by any skin color or gender or anything like it. Could be any other variation. For example, in India it could be tribal people of Jharkhand or things like that. You may not even know about them. Heck, majority of India does not know about them because we are a republic, they also get a seat. That's the whole point of republic. It's basically democracy with some extra layer. Now again, it works both ways. So there are some good things, there are some bad things like any other system, but we are talking about a republic. Most of the time whenever we are talking about a republic where people elect something and that election filters through the top. It never just goes bam. That's why whenever you are talking about like Trump's election, and that's why these two terms will be used interchangeably, where people are like, hey, he won the popular vote or he just won the election. So let's say US election results and you go, it's like, okay, so what does this mean? Trump got 301. Does that mean 301 people vote? No, hell no. That simply means that many chair, I would say. Again, from outside I'm talking, that's why this sort of weird analogy has to be used. Those chairs, so to say, got selected, which is a significant thing. Be mindful, he only needed 270 to win, he got 301. Now be mindful, that's just one step. Same way in India, we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Same thing in USA, again with different name. We have Senate and the House. Now Senate, they have already won 53 seat, as in Donald Trump's party, so to say. That is huge. 53. Be mindful, 51 is a majority, and if they had achieved 60, that would have been like, damn, because 60 means they are the direct majority. Direct, meaning you would think like if there are only 100 seats, you need 51 to get anything done. For low priority things, yes, but for something that is high priority, they do need more seats, as in like 60. But again, the likelihood now, Trump claiming that I'm going to do this and actually putting it into Senate and pushing it through is now exponentially greater. Now, so he got like good grip on Senate, because here's the deal, 51, he needs 51 for few things, not everything, but for few things he only needs 51. His team got it. It's like, bro, we got you. And if you can switch, they can switch the seat and votes and all that, there is a very good chance they can actually get stuff done, not be blocked by Senate. So that's precedent, boom, done. Like Republican Party, that's done, sorted. What about the House? As of now, when I'm recording this, at this moment, the House is not sorted yet, as in Red Party has 212 and Democratic Republic has 200. Now that's a very close call, and you need 218 for majority in the House, quote unquote. So that will be very after Trump won, Stromed Areas was probably the first to leave USA. Oh yeah, that's again, I'm gonna make a dedicated video on this, and you guys can watch it in Friday, or if you are a member, you can watch it right now. But you have to understand why the heck, as a science channel, I'm talking about politics. Unfortunately, it affects it. And as an Indian, unfortunately, it affects it. Now, again, there is nothing wrong with USA affecting the world. It's just that world is stupid if that happens. For example, as an Indian, does Russia-Ukraine war affects Indian? Yes, one positively, one negatively. For example, negative side, because Russia and Ukraine is the bread basket for a surprisingly large amount of places. Like if you want to figure out who is supplying the world, look where grains are going from Russia and Ukraine. They are like both bread basket, quote unquote. Now here's it, boom, boom happened, bread basket dries out. So that that creates incentive for Indian sellers to be like, okay, we produce bonkersly large amount of it. That's why India can feed 1.5 billion people. We good. But here's the now this grain is like, what if we send it abroad and get more money out of it? That's a good thing. Again, you created a competition where there was none because of that. Now that's the bad side effect, meaning food prices in India went. So that's a bad thing. Again, we are not running low, and again, there will never be a scenario where it's like India is running out of food. If it becomes really that bad, again, government can just stop it as an emergency measure. So that's not an issue. But that's the bad part. Like again, we started to compete for our own food because other people were willing to pay so much more. So okay, not great. But other aspect is because Russia burnt so many people so badly that they no longer had customer for their fuel. Now you have to understand, West, and no matter how everybody like, let's boycott West, they have the biggest treasury on the planet. Okay, just accept it. They have the biggest treasury. If China pieces of USA hardly like badly enough, where USA is like no, the end, like no more business partner. USA will suffer, of course, but China will suffer exponentially more. So this is one of those things Russia is experiencing. So Russia has to offer whoever is buying whatever price they are willing to. For example, because here's the deal, you can sell amount of oil, X amount of oil or gas to whatever country you want to sell it. Here's the deal, how much their consumption is. There are only two major populations that has huge consumption, that is India and China. So China is already controlling their side of the bargain. So we are also controlling our side of the bargain. So that's the good part. That's why our fuel prices, even though inflation has been brutal and food prices are going up, the fuel price is kind of stable. And because again, I do have to travel for court cases, and I do take basically photocopy of that thermal slip, because again, the thermal slip will wear off, but I take the photocopy of it, and for last 2 years fuel prices has been stable. So that's the good part. And you see that again, outside is directly affecting inside. Now why does India give a damn about what happens in USA? Unfortunately, because we are stupid and we did not understand the fact that hydrogen is not a proper replacement, electric is not ready yet, and we cannot use ethanol. We haven't still deployed seaweed biofuel industry. We do not have it, so we do not have oil source. Problem with that is we cannot have food without diesel, because farmers cannot just magically make food. They need diesel for their equipments, and again tractors, trucks, and again you are like, okay, what about trains? Here's the deal, thankfully India's train network is majority electrical, so that's good part. But problem is you do not have railway tracks in every farm. You have to understand that basically farmers have to use a lot of diesel just to do stuff, then pack everything up to the nearest railway station, assuming that we have railway station or we're not directly shipping it by road, and that consumes a lot of diesel in ideal scenario. In unideal scenario, it consumes even more. So we are dependent on diesel. How do you buy diesel? You buy crude oil. How do you buy crude oil? OPEC. You have to go to OPEC. Okay, what is the currency of this exchange? Dollars. Yeah, because we do not have seaweed, we have to pay dollars. Now, thankfully, all things considered, India does have two major industries that are bringing in the dollar, so we are not as desperate as, let's say, Pakistan. We have IT industry that is printing money, and then we have pharmaceutical that is printing money on national scale. So these things are giving us, basically they are filling up the input of the dollar bucket, and export of that dollar bucket is oil. So that's why we give a damn what happens in USA. Unfortunately, again, if I were in charge, I would like, bruh, I do not give a damn about your politics. I do not give a damn about religion. I do not care about anything. Freaking build seaweed biofuel. Everything else, I do not care. Seaweed biofuel. And again, only government can do this because this is a long-term project. If we start today, it will take at least 4 or 5 years before we have first liter, and it will take at least 5-6 years after that. Then we're like, okay, now we have a mass production. It's a long-term process. It's almost like building a railway, so to say. So that's there. And again, yeah, in 2016 also, right? Every time, we're going to leave, we're going to go for Canada and all that. Nothing happened. And that's how I know that Trump, Trump derangement syndrome is an actual thing, because so many people claimed, so many Hollywood celebrities, and again, there are records of it, there are videos of it, there are live events of it. Oh, I'm going to go away from here. It's like, none of them did. Like, world still went around the sun exactly as it did. It's like, and again, they are claiming the same thing again. It's so boring. It's like, at this point in time, I know you have derangement syndrome. So that's there. To pass a bill, we need to have 2/3 majority, and Republicans don't have as of now. 2/3, I think you are talking about House. I don't think that's in the Senate. Senate, I have checked, it's 51 for some things, and 61 or 60, something like that, for Senate things. Again, there are certain nuance to that, depending on like again, you have to understand the checks and balances are built in that way, where you are like, if you want to change something very major, it requires extra fail-safe. But for subtle things, you do not need to that much, because again, presidency does have executive power for certain things, not everything, but for certain things. So that's there. Please make a video on polymer and it's important in lifestyle. Polymers. Can you give some examples? Provide some context of what you're talking about. I found out something funny. In India, the bird's called turkey, and in Turkey, they call it Hindi bird. Ouch. That's hilarious. Sir, Jerry tried to rig Trump, but he failed. Yeah, yeah, that's the funny thing. That's the funny thing. So that happened. Oh, hold on, hold on. I think this would be. Where am I? This one. I think, oh, I was very excited. I thought somebody might donate in my English channel, but apparently it only happens in Hindi. Okay, yeah, so that happens. That's why, like, again, basically, if you want to understand a country's power, you have to understand where the base is. What is the base? Food, water, energy. These are the base. If you do not have these three things under control, everything else does not matter. Now, here's the deal. How does USA has control over these three things? Ironically, USA is world's largest oil producer. But you're like, wait a minute, they don't sell, OPEC sells. Yeah, because they consume so much more. They basically drink their own oil and gas. And again, Trump has specifically talked about that he's going to turbocharge the shale gas industry. Basically, you have to understand, there were a lot of oil reserves in USA and they consumed it all. So it became cheaper to buy from abroad. And there were other oil gas like fracking. Whenever you hear about fracking, it's like basically shale. We knew about this. Like, it's not a new technology. We knew about this, even how to extract it. It was just not worth to do that. Basically, the cost was so high, it was like, yeah, who cares? It's the same thing. But after that depletion, after OPEC increased the price, then it slowly became, interesting enough where it's like, we can use the shale gas. And now magically USA is like, I got this. And Trump is really focusing on that. Basically, Trump is pushing down the can of economic destruction a few years ahead. And again, this is why democracy is is always stuck in such a limbo state where it's like, if people keep making short-term decisions, we always gonna suffer in long term. Imagine if they had the brain to understand that, hey, if we did the seaweed web, which again, every Tom, Dick and Harry is going to say two things to you. First, it's going to be twice as expensive. Is that true? Factually, absolutely yes. But here's the funny thing. Assume that's true. Okay, assume that is true. I'll talk about more that in further. But if that is true, that means the price of oil that you are buying from OPEC can never exceed that level. For example, let's say there is $100 per barrel right now oil, okay? And you are making yourself, and that is $200 per barrel. Cool, awesome. But here's the deal. That guarantees, that's an absolute future-proof guarantees. A, you have your own supply. B, under no circumstances, the selling party can increase the price beyond this. So that gives you, not only gives you insurance for, like, let's say critical assets. It's like, hey, our airlines should not require outside fuel. Cool, you can isolate it. It's like airline prices, that's locked. Why? Because we are growing our own fuel. Okay, so that's the one good thing. Another is like, if OPEC is like, we're gonna increase the price, it's like, you know what, we're just gonna scale up our production. We got it, we sorted. And again, do we have the surface area? More than enough. That's why I keep talking about sea. You cannot grow enough hydrocarbons on land. We do not have enough land. Again, I cannot even give you 300 square kilometer area. Nowhere I can give you that much. On sea, that's like, bruh, take 2000 square kilometer, who cares? And we will not even touch international water. That would be just a nautical boundary. From coast to nautical boundary, we have more than enough surface area. And you ideally want to be far enough where people cannot see it. Basically, you want horizon to dip down so people cannot see and everybody is cool. So doing that, now you have the freedom. And here's the deal. Here's the fact. This research was done in 1990s. Basically, after oil embargo, USA had brain. Back in those days, they used to have brain. So they started a project, which was a super cheap project, $25 million. To give you a context, they sell $35 million fighter jets to, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, or like what? I think Saudi Arabia is their system, na? One of those nations. So they literally had the solution. At that time, they were like, hey, oil prices were $15 per barrel. And the engineering team said the best we can give you is 30. That's what everybody is murmuring. Imagine if they had the brain and they kept working on it. Not for everything, but just like, hey, let's just make sure jet fuel we do not need to buy from outside. They would have been like, okay, assuming they are completely wrong, which engineers generally are, you double the price. So they say 30. Assume 60. That means $60 per barrel, America would have had their own oil by now. And again, OPEC could never increase the price because they're like, hey, we have our own source. And again, they have even more surface area, even more sea. You do not run out of surface area, you do not run out of sunlight, you do not run out of water. So that's the whole thing. Please cover Kaveri engine draw. See, it's Indian systems. They barely have any data, and not to mention because it's like a DRDO project, even less data. So there is not much. First, I am not interested into it simply because I cannot find enough juice to it. Like there is not enough meat for me to like, oh, this is what it is. Like, you know, I cannot tell you the most interesting project after a very long time was the low temperature thermal desalination. India is the world leader on that. There is only one country that knows how to build it. We are the one. We built it. It's working. It's awesome. And I cannot tell you how difficult it was just to find one high resolution image of it. One. So that part does suck. That's why I do not try, like, again, low temperature thermal desalination is an awesome technology. That's why I covered it. Jet engine is like, it's just a jet engine. And not to mention, there is not enough meat on it where I can, like, you know, truly explore it, so to say, like rubber, plastic, ammonia assets and other stuff. Interesting. What important steps will Trump take now? What do you think? He has talked about, like, I looked at just right before this recording, not recording as a live, I looked into the few of the promises he made. One bad promise that he should not have made, and I hope other people can stop him, is that he was like, he's gonna prosecute whistleblowers. His deal, that should never happen. A government cannot touch whistleblowers, because his deal, if that happens, if you punish whistleblowers, government can do whatever the heck they want and people will be scared of exposing it. So that is a very like, you know, there is a program for private players. Basically, let's say you are working in a company and you have signed an NDA, company is doing something horrific, you can actually go to the courts and you can actually win, and court will protect you against any repercussion, because again, you have to have whistleblowers. So he's like, I'm going to prosecute all those whistleblowers against the government, and that part is like, no, that's just like, no. I understand the urge, the orgasm that it gives you, but that's like short-term benefit and long-term lethality. So that's the bad part. Now, good part is he's gonna ban anyone from taking office in basically federal sections and then jumping to private companies. He's like, no. Now, what the worst example is, that's the reason why Artemis will fail, fail as in like economically. The reason is because the woman that greenlit the Artemis program for SpaceX got a job in SpaceX. She did, like, that's what we call conflict of interest. You never do that. And I'm like, to this day, I do not understand how the heck people went so retard. It's like, we're gonna send a second stage. Cool, awesome. Second stage are only designed for low Earth orbit. You do not go above second stage. As in like, oh, I'm gonna take this, refuel this shit 20 times and then I'm gonna go to moon. What kind of weed is that? What would be logical? You send one stage, as in like booster comes back. Second stage, deploys the payload, comes back. You have your fully reserved, and then how much you have in the low Earth orbit. Now again, Elon Musk claims 150 ton to low Earth orbit. Let's downscale it, 100 tons to low Earth orbit. Now, is that enough for a moon mission? Tight, way too tight. Now what can you do? Launch another rocket, have another 100 ton. Now what do you have? You have 200 tons in low Earth orbit. What was the capacity of Saturn V? 150 tons to low Earth orbit. You get 50 tons extra to launch rockets, and it's cheaper because both of them can be reused, both stages can be reused, and you go to the moon. No problem. You do not forcefully make a second stage work as a like third stage. That's retarded. Like majority of rocket is just dead weight you are forcing from low Earth orbit to moon. Why? How the heck that got approved? Again, it's illegal. It should not have been approved. Illegal as in like, that's why I said that women should not have gotten job into SpaceX, because that's a direct conflict of interest. NASA figured it out. It's wrong. That's why Artemis program was opened again, and that's how Blue Origin and Dynetics, I think, Dynetics or Blue Origin, they got a contract open again. Because everybody, like, who look at it, it's like, what kind of stupid idea is that we're going to refuel this 20 times? 20 rocket launches of Starship caliber. It's not viable economically. It's basically, it makes space shuttle look like logical design. It's bad. But again, because that woman got directly jobbed into SpaceX, we know why she did it. Because like, hey, I want a job in SpaceX. She literally dumped her, I'm fired, not fired, like I'm quit and I joined there. So Trump is going to ban that. That is a good thing. And again, he's specifically targeting on FDA, basically Food and Drug Administration and pharma companies, because they are directly controlling. It's like, nope. So that's a good thing. That one, I'm like, me good. That is a good thing. As a president, that's his authority. He should fire missile sighted. Because again, if government get controlled by the corporations, what's the point of having a government? That's like good. So that's there. So that's these are the two major things that I was talking. And again, he's gonna turbocharge the fracking industry, because again, renewables we should have been doing long ago, but we did not. So I can understand people suffering, because again, inflation is going out of the hand. So plus the basically what you call shot in the arm is fracking. So I get that. Is a big danger for India. I get that. I get that where you're coming from. What's your opinion on recent climate change and permafrost? Yeah, we see. I have let go of life, so to say. Basically, no wife, no children. I'm done. This is my last line. I'm out. So because of his deal, if Trump does what he does, and again he will do it. And again, I do not even have the luxury of blaming him, because again, we should have not allowed that project to die in 1990. Because again, if we had kept doing that, imagine if today you are talking like, oh, we stopped a project because he would have given us oil at $30 per barrel. People will boom you. It's like, are you kidding me? We are paying $100 per barrel and you are telling me that we shut down a project that could have given us, again, that's why the project could not have been stopped, because now you have to start everything again. Again, we have to do everything. So that's a truly frustrating. But again, it's like it's not my world anymore. It's like I'm done. I'm too old, and right now my issues are like my brother. I had a brother's visit yesterday, and most likely my biggest concern is, again, I'm talking about my leg hamstring not working. He thinks that my slip disc has been degraded too much, and one of the weird aspects is pinching a nerve that is causing the leg pain. I hope he is wrong. I really wish he is wrong. But again, we have like figuring things out when we're going to visit. And most likely in December, I'm going to go to a proper hospital and get things sorted out. And I hope things work out. So, got free employment. BJP adds to this life just now. Yeah, the free things, that's the most dangerous thing. And again, I think that's why left lost in USA so much. Like people are struggling because of inflation, and you, to their face, you're gonna say, come to our country illegally and we're gonna give you a free voucher. The hell? Like there's a point of pissing on your face. It's like, dude, you're not Apple. Apple can piss on customer face and people will drink it like it's a champagne, but other companies cannot do that. Government cannot do that. And again, I think this election showed it. Like anyway, I would like you guys to call what will happen. Will GOP get a House majority or not? Because again, as of now, presidents, they got it. As of Senate, they got it. As of House, I'm not sure they have got it or not. So I want your opinion. Free employment. Seeing what teachers do, focus on your studies, and after college you can grow your hair as long as you want. And I'm tired, my hair has already started. Oh, that's dangerous. See, generally it's said that if you lose your hair, if you do not lose your hair in your 30s, unless something really bad happens, you're not going to lose it. But if you start to lose it that early, that means almost genetical component. But again, here's the hairs are like male crowns. They are like our crown. So benefit is, if you become rich, they will come back. So do not worry about it. Focus on becoming rich. Do you think USA will reform from immigration system? Both parties agree to legalize, fix their legal immigration system. See, that's a good thing to have. That's an awesome problem to have, that people are forcing themselves into your country. That means your country is awesome. They are, because here's the deal. We have what we call North Korea. People are forcing themselves outwards, and America is like, dude, don't come here. That's awesome. That means your country is awesome. But here's the deal. If you degrade the law, right, degrade too much, it will become like any other hellhole. So they have to fix it. It's just like, sometimes people start smoking too much. That's what happens. Smoking damage. Basically like Elon weed. Like, what if we refill the shit 20 times in low Earth orbit? It's like, do you know how much LNG you're gonna consume? Like just figure out how much the LNG consumption is. Liquid oxygen, again, oxygen is just made out of electricity. LNG is not. LNG is fossil fuel. Figure out how much LNG it needs for the Starship, for the booster. It's not 1 ton, it's not 100 ton, it's thousands of ton. And they have to do it 20 times. Yeah, no. That's bankruptcy waiting to happen. That's exactly like SLS. SLS is gonna be $500 million. Oh yeah. No. It's going to become $2 to $3 billion per launch. $2 billion is expected right now. Trump has talked about this. Every major branch has what we call Inspector General office. Basically, people who are supposed to look at it. Like NASA has Inspector General. And again, they are the one that is giving you the data. It's like how much SLS is actually costing. How the heck Boeing forgot how to do welding. Again, amazing report. Look into it. The PDF is available. So that's there. You can really study more about NASA. Like, and again, they were the one who were screaming their tops or lungs off, like, space shuttle is not the good stuff. It's not good. But again, politics. So again, that's these few things are really good. Like every American will win if these things get passed. But one bad thing that again, other things could also happen. But as of now, one bad thing is like whistleblower destruction. Yeah, that cannot happen. That again, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you hate it, it will happen to you. Of course, that's the whole point. It has to, like, basically tools have to be made in such a way that is fair to both sides. Basically, they cannot affect the let's say Trump comes in office and they are directly, controlling the corporation, removing all the safeguards, because again, controlling the government. But again, he will like that, but public will not like that. But here's the deal, public will not like it, even left did it. So right and left both cannot have this weapon. So that's the whole point. So you want tools that if your opponent wields, you are still safe. So that's why, that's how you figure it out, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. If you are like, hey, government should spy on bad people, here's the deal. Assume what if they spy on you? You are not comfortable? Okay, then don't support spying. It's as simple as that. If it was done to you, would you be comfortable or not? And like, I'm not illegal. That's the same point. Same point goes with immigration, where it's like, hey, if you, like, again, I have, family members who are in USA and they are like, hey, we legally, like the paperwork, dude, the paperwork took time. It took time. It took months. And again, if somebody is just like, yeet to the employer, like, what the hell? Like, again, that makes us look stupid. And again, they're getting free money. My family has to spend so much money. They're getting free money. What the hell? So it's one of those things. As in making little progress, maybe working next 5 years. What do you think about AMCA? They are making little progress. Maybe it will work in next 5. I am not sure what you are specifically talking about, average Hindu. AMCA, I'm not sure. In 2019, I heard about lab-grown meat, but there still haven't been major update. Will lab-grown meat ever become as affordable as regular meat? Yeah. See, there is always a cross point. Same thing happened with coal and solar. For India specifically. It's like coal, because it's a depleting resource, it's gonna go down. Again, meat is a depleting resource. Why? You have to give it land. You have to grow crops. Like, it's a fixed or depleting. That's the only two outcomes. Either it's a fixed resource or it's a depleting resource. Let's assume it's a depleting resource, because again, people will grow, they will more forest will be cleared and more area would be fought about. So it's like, hey, I want to build an airport. Again, you take farming lands. You try to, like, minimize the effect, but again, that makes it a depleting resource. So you have depleting resource there, and lab grown, it's non-depleting. You're just putting chemicals in and getting stuff out. And for me, it sounds silly, because it's like, bro, we have Indian food, man. We got it. We good. So that's there. Good evening. What do you think about Russia, Ukraine? What Donald Trump winning going to impact it also about Israel? But no, nothing. It's one of those things that once you get old enough, you realize that politicians are like blah 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 blah. That's all there is to it. There are certain things that he cannot do. He cannot go to Zelensky and Putin and be like, this is it. Because the only way I could even see remotely is Putin takes all the land that he has, but Ukraine gets NATO. But again, Putin cannot allow that. So, see, there is no scenario where that happens. The only way to quote unquote win from Ukraine side is like America just gives an ultimatum, hey, accept this deal, NATO membership and all the land you take, and if you do not accept it, we're gonna bombard them with weaponry and we're gonna destroy your little eyes. That's threat, like, stick and carrot. So they can do that. That's one option. Other options are none. So that's why I said, like, he can claim is like, I'm gonna do this, and it's like, okay, bro, calm down. Like, there are checks and balances, so calm down. So that's there. GK is meant to improve image quality and all, but they say it's not economical. Yeah, that's the tragic part. Again, next Monday, as in the next Monday video, you will understand the priority of it. So it's not even more landing Starship on Mars, they have to refuel 1,000 times. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's a bad design. Like, it's not, you do not need to be a scientist to see, it's just stupid. It's stupid. And again, there are certain things that are stupid. You can try it and then you're like, yeah, that's stupid. For example, having a flat heat shield, deflector plate, it's stupid. They did it. Like, oh, they are smart because they did it. No, they're stupid because they forced money to solve a problem. What is the next, Starship launch tower second number? Oh, they have normal flange stretch because, yeah, you can use money to save a problem, but you can be like, hey, what if you use logical solution? So that's the whole point. It's the same thing. Again, many of you are very young, but I'm old enough where I'm like, I'm old enough to see Elon Musk weird where it's like, we're gonna have Dragon capsule landing on Mars and it's gonna be red Mars mission and it's gonna be this and that. I'm like, dude, that's a weird. That's just like, Let's just tweet. It's like it's illogical. Like, again, can you force it? Yes. Should you? Hell no. The best logical design would be you build a specific craft for it. One craft orbit to orbit, another landing on Mars, another landing on Earth. Why you are mixing all of them in one? Like, that's silly, stupid, burning money away. And we do not have that kind of money. Nobody has that kind of money. So, and again, that's why you do want Jeff Bezos to succeed to some extent, and he will. Like, Jeff Bezos is one of those guys, he scares me because he got a divorce and he still had money. I'm like, damn. Like, he took a woman head on and still has money. I'm like, damn. Damn. I'm like, damn. That's like ultra damn. That's like damn. So, what do you think? Elon Musk supported Trump blindly? He did not support. See, Trump compared to Kamala Harris is not even a competition. Like, because Kamala Harris not supposed to be running. Joe Biden is supposed to be running. So this is one thing that Young Turks, I think that's their YouTube channel name. Used to watch them like when I've had a job and all that. They said very specifically, every time there is a good libertarian candidate, for example, Bernie Sanders. I had one of my friend who was like a really big fan of that. And again, I've seen there was like some level of authenticity to Bernie Sanders, and they yeeted his basically what you call candidacy, and he was like just outed. He could have easily won against Trump, but they removed him. They, as in Democratic Party itself, were like, no, we will not have Bernie Sanders. They stole that election and they dumped it to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton lost. Again, Bernie Sanders was poofed out of there. Then the second time this happened is like this guy, what you call, was the last president, Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden is completely gone. This part is cuckoo. That's just like cuckoo. At this point in time, it's like it's embarrassing to hide it. So they're like, we have to change it. But again, why the heck? If you knew that that's gonna happen, why the heck you ran it? Because there was no other candidate. And again, at the last moment, they're like, we have the election. People are like, okay, in the all the available option, which again is so bad that you have a 86, I think that's his age, 86 years old, like, you know, cuckoo person. That's the best option you have. That's really messed up. And then they're like, okay, what if we yeet the candidate? And Kamala Harris became. Again, she was going to lose. So, and again, this is one thing you have to understand. People, like as in the people who control the steering wheel of the country, and again, they are not sitting there controlling the steering wheel. They just they like the control strings. They hate people who come on their own money. Basically, Trump is one of those power. He's like, I have money, bro. I do not need your donation. I have money. And again, he's good. Like when it comes to public perception, he's good. Like he's very good. Like whether you can hate him all you want, but the dude is good. When it comes to public perception, it's like, I'm gonna fire a missile. And again, Republicans also wanted to him out because again, they could not control him. But he's like, bro, I came in like a wrecking ball, boom. And again, this time, again, this is much better than his 2016 performance. So this time he's like, no, I am the wrecking ball. I did not come in like a wrecking ball. I am the wrecking ball. So that would happen. Energy independence is priceless. Absolutely true. Your country is meaningless and always dependent on someone else's generosity if you do not have energy independence. That's a factual, absolute truth. Brother is making super. Yeah, your brother is making super. Nice. He just says that he has like very large RAM capacity. Any hopes third political party in India? No. For that, you have to have what we call. Basically, our voting is fucked up. For lack of a better term, we cannot have voting like, you know, first past of the poll. That you cannot run something as complex as a country where the option is 51% people are agree with it and 49% hate it. That's not a way of running a country. We have to do what we call single transferable vote. That's the second easiest option, so to say. So you select, this is my first choice, this is my second choice, this is my third choice. Now what does this mean? This simply means this is my guy, you know, my first choice, this is my true love. But if I do not get this choice, what is the next compromise? Because yes, you are running a country, you have to be compromised. Right now, there is no compromise option. It's like free food, no food. It's like, bro, what if you had an option where it's like, hey, free food from 0 to 18, and another option is like, let's say free food from 0 to 10. You do not want children to starve. Cool, awesome. And again, that's far more acceptable. So even the people who are like, you know, I'm for free food, they will be like, okay, my free food is full choice number 1. Second choice is free food from 0 to 18. Third choice is 0 to 10. And the fourth choice, which I do not want. And again, you will have 4 options, not even 4. Like if you have 4 options available, you will only allow 3. So you're like, okay, I do not accept like, you know, no free food. Okay. Now both of them will vote, and then you will have filtering in between either 10 years old or like, you know, 18 years old. Let's say 18 years old. Both parties are like, okay, okay. Like both parties were like, okay, so we have to have this. Only then you can have 3 or 4 parties, logically speaking. If you do not do that, you will always have a country, you will always have 2 parties, and you will always self-destruct. So fundamentally, that's the big issue. Brothers, any I think Trump might change the law and come back for the third term. No, he is not Putin. He's not Putin, and he does not need to. He does not need to. He does not need to. There are certain exceptions that he can utilize, but he does not need to. If he gets like a good, let's say he gets America in a good position, specifically from inflation point of view, and people know that he is good for the country, and again, the public's perception has changed, because again, this is a huge thing. Changing Senate, it's like, damn. And again, I do not know whether they will get the House majority or not, but if they did, that would be trifecta. That would be like, damn. And be mindful, this is the last time this happened is a guy named Kentucky, I think, and that election was in 1800s. Yeah, that was the last time when president became 22nd president, then he got yeeted for 23rd, then he came back with vengeance in 24. So that's the one thing that happened with Trump. So there is a very good chance he can do that. Best book for rocket science. I'm the wrong person to talk about that. Hey, how are you? I'm late today. No problem. Have fun. So again, he does not need to. If he can clean house, which again, there is a very good chance that Trump, again, A, is independent. B, he actually likes America. He's not like, he actually likes America. There's a point to him. There is like, hey, this is my country. I fucking like it. So whether you agree with him or not agree with him, and again, from environmental point of view, he's gonna have some, let's just say, effects, which again, we should not have closed that biofuel project, because without it there is no other option, and we're gonna keep going back to this. And again, anytime because like Trump, it has nothing to do with Trump. It was done in 1998 when the project was cancelled. Find the person responsible for that. And again, neither right recovered it nor left recovered it. So both are idiots. So do not come to me as like, oh, they would have been better for environment. No, only the party that only resurrects the project, puts it into the constitution where do not shut this off. We cannot live in a world where other countries are affecting your fuel prices. Only then we can have carbon neutral fuel, then carbon dioxide problem as well. And again, you can keep increasing the biofuel production. And once you have surplus, again, that's why I said it can only be done on sea, cannot be done on land. You keep increasing it, and then you extract the crude oil, dump it back into the ground. What are you doing? You are undoing global warming. You are undoing Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. You're doing Control Z. And who's providing the energy? Sun. And like I'm so shocked how many people are like, what if we do carbon capture? Who is paying the energy cost for that? Nobody. It's like we have to pay. It's like, no, you have to make fuel, so that all the payment is self-fulfilling. Okay, any hopes? Okay, I have late today. Okay, what do you think of Obama? Good for the country? Because any like see, problem is Obama. I was not aware. Okay, so I have very vague memory of Obama as in, like, again, that time I knew Obama I knew, and Obama got Osama bin Laden, that kind of thing I knew, but not as in like, oh, I knew what he was talking about. Like, I that time was not aware of it. The first time I was aware was Donald Trump. So I'm sorry, I do not have enough context for it. Bitcoin is banned in China and India. There's 30% tax, but even so, mining GPUs are still showing up in second-hand market. Why? If they are showing up in second-hand market, that's a good thing. That means it's no longer profitable. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Best, okay. Hello, sir. Hello to you. Can we turn PS5 into a desktop computer as powerful, but it's limited by just gaming? Yeah, that's why I do not recommend consoles. Again, as a game artist, I know that it's much easier to develop stuff for console. Hey, come on, man. Any of you guys can donate here, man. Come on. Help a brother out, man. Use UPI, or heck, if you are international, use this PayPal link, man. Come on. Jeff Bezos has no hair, so sad. No, Jeff Bezos is ultra rich. He's not rich, he's ultra rich. He's like, my bald head is my money. He's reached that point, man. Understand it. He's like, bro, you do not come close to me, bro. Like, I do not need the crown. I am the crown. He's that kind of guy. So don't, like, he's on a different level. You have to understand, even Elon Musk is not on the same stable level. Elon Musk goes ups and down and politically active. Trump, yeah, and Jeff Bezos in the background is like, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna reach there. Maybe take a bit of time, but I'm gonna get there. So, how is that? Okay, so consoles are not recommended. And again, with the current price hike of the consoles, yeah, no, thank you. Who will get benefits or loss after Trump won? It will be interesting, but again, there is a very good chance he actually likes the country, so there is a very good chance he will work his ass off to control inflation. So that will be the first thing. Express Indian geopolitical changes. Trump, why global right wing is rising again? Left went too far left. It's like it went too cuckoo, like too much. Too much. Everybody has a natural equilibrium. If you push too far, it bounces back. So that's what happened. And that's what you want. You never want world to become only left or only right. You always want a steering wheel effect where it's like, okay, let's say wartime is happening. You want right. You want absolute right. Okay, peacetime is happening. Now you want left. And too much left is equals too much chaos. It's like, okay, now let's come back to center. Oh, okay, now let's, it's a self-correcting algorithm, so to say. So it's not like, oh, right is rising and all that. No, left went cuckoo and now nature is doing self-correction. That's a good thing. And again, if we had single transferable vote, then we had much more nuance. We would not have went cuckoo. So now we are only doing things when we are going full cuckoo. So it's like, oh, we are burning. Oh, we are freezing. We are burning. We are freezing. It's like, no, bro, we need to chill. We need a compromise in the voting, and we need to get that. So right now we have a choice between stupid and stupid. That's not an option. You're like, okay, stupid in this, less stupid in this. That would be a compromising option where more people can be okay with. Okay, I think finally. Okay, Praveen Kumar, you are, I think, the first donation in this English channel, 21 rupees. Thank you so much, but you did not send any remark. You could have sent it. It's from Paytm, sent from Paytm. Thank you so much. I think you have finally unlocked that door. So I'm very happy for that. So that's there. So it's, do not go into that right or left. It's just like a reaction to it. And because we do not have a good center option. Why do not we have good center option? Because again, our election system is stupid. The only way you can have healthy system is if you have single transferable vote. And the scary part is, again, depending on your worldview, Europe has started to implement that on a base level, as in block level mayor election. Very, very low level, but here still, that's how it goes up. If it goes up from there, right now, other countries also have something similar, but on top, it means nothing. Garbage in equals garbage out. But if it starts to go from there, that will be world changing, because again, now finally we'll have 3-party, 4-party, and then it's like, whoa, nobody can, like, we can have actually healthy discussion. That would be like, whoa. So that's there. Okay, we'll get the. Why don't we use gravity battery in a home solar system? Aside from the size, I don't see any major reason why not use. Yeah, you do not understand the size. You need a skyscraper to just make it work. It's not logical for a home level use. Do Lana Trump come back? Do Lan come Trump? I do not understand it. Now America has capable president. Yeah, compared to like the last few years of Joe Biden was like sad. It's just like sad. At some point, it's like, bro, really. Like, really, bro? Really? So I do it. So, Australia has a preferential voting system. They rank 4 or 5 candidates from most preferred to least preferred. No, I think there must have some system, because again, they also have this 2-party system. If 2-party system is still there, yeah, it's no help. You do need 3 to 4 parties. And again, it has to be whole way from, like, from bottom to top. And it's like, right now it's like, oh, very low level and very high level. There's no point. You have to break that 2-party system. And again, it's a good system. If they have it, it's a good system, better than the alternatives. But they have to have the whole stack working like that. Only then there could be a 3rd party. Please suggest a camera lens for YouTube video related to DY project. Which camera and lens combination do you use to do your weekly videos? For my weekly videos, I use this Canon 800D. I do not even think that you can buy this anymore. It's ancient camera right now. It's ancient 800D. So I have made dedicated video, but problem is right now it does not make that much sense to buy a APS-C camera. Full frame you have to buy, but full frame are expensive. Canon has some good option, but again, you will get destroyed in lens, because there is no 3rd-party lens. And yes, Canon does not allow 3rd-party lenses on full frame. They only allow it in APS-C. It's a very clever trick, very painful, but I'm not okay with that. So I will not recommend that. Again, for lens, for Sony, you can get a very good okay-ish kind of system, which can start working, and you can have, like, fans, if so you can do long long-term video. And again, one of the biggest advantage you can have with Sony is that you can buy DJI mic like this one, DJI Mic 2, and it can directly communicate over that digital hot shoe. Now that's a little thing, like you no longer need to worry about this cable, but again, those little things make your life much easier. And Sony has like, full size HDMI output, so you can utilize things like this, basically HDMI captures, which again gives you far better control compared to their onboard USB system. But again, it also has onboard USB. So what is the penalty? Penalty is like not on the cheap camera, but on the high-end camera, that weird card format, compact flash type A. So that's the penalty. But again, Sony systems have, like, look into the cheapest full frame current generation. Do not look into old one. Do not look into second hand. Again, second hand lens is far better compared to second hand what you call body. So look into what is the next best thing you can do. And in terms of lens, depending on what kind of range you are looking at, 24 to 70 f2.8 should be perfect for you. And again, that would be my next camera. Money is sorted. I'm just waiting for A7 Mark V to release. I will not buy A7 Mark IV right now. It's like, so that's there. Hope that helps you. Ask your friend who stays in Australia. Ask your friend. Yeah, I'll ask him. No, yeah, I have a friend. He's like mayor elections and all that. Hey, I think you are mixing two things together. I'll discuss that further, maybe in detailed video, but again, you're not doing that. So Jan Suraj, emergent third political party which improves the education. Most people, most of the top quality leaders in Bihar today. India, Charaki. Yeah, that will not never scale up to large scale, because we might feel that's the same thing happened with AAP. It happened is like when you have two-party system, you only have two-party system. The third party only becomes maybe a regional power at best. Two-party system is a polarization of the country. It will always backfire. So I'm late. Not that late. That's good for not let go. Is it not good for you to let go your energy, time wasted? Don't care. Is it not good for you to not let go? Again, letting go simply means I have accepted the way the world is, and again, it's not a problem anymore. Okay, so let this very clear. Humanity is not suffering from global warming because we do not know what to do. Everybody's like, oh, what can we do? What can we do? It's like we have this solution. Like people are talking about like, how can we store the energy? It's like 1977 is calling. We have the problem sorted. We have done that like 1999, 1977. All the problems are sorted. We are doing BS. Again, the penalty is for the lower class people. I'm lower class people. I do not have that much money. I do not have the luxury that I need to survive. Heck, if I go to this let's say medical system that I have to do, I'm scared. I'm scared. Not like, again, what happens to my body, that's a different thing. I'm scared about the price, and I'm scared what if my insurance is bounced. Again, so in that scenario, in that reality, if the people who are controlling the steering wheel, they are like, what if I do not give a damn what happens tomorrow? I'm like, dude, you have the steering wheel, you cannot do that. But they're like, no, what if I do not care? It's like, yep, okay, I'm out. I'm understanding what Chinese people are doing. It's like, this is a, what you call dictatorship, which you cannot break. It's like, only way to break it is like, stop having children and let them starve after. It's like, I'm out. It's like, all the suffering ends with me. So I have accepted that sort of life policy. It's like, all the suffering ends with me. I cannot change the world. I can educate, because again, I am reasonably okay with it. So, and again, I'm doing my best. But other than that, I'm out. If tomorrow is like, world blows up, I do not care. It's like, I'm done. I'm old, 32 years old. I'm done. So, should efforts in integrating renewable continues? There is no other way. See, renewable gives you price decrease. Fossil fuel always gives you inflation. That's the whole difference. So if, for example, let's say you have built a coal power plant. Again, you dumped a lot of money, everything is cool, everything is awesome, you get 24/7 power, right? Okay, cool, awesome. It consumes two things, water and coal. Assume you have sorted the water problem by using air condenser. Cool, awesome, but it still consumes coal. Coal prices will go up, and it has gone up for the last 100 years. It will always go up because the stockpile is always decreasing. So what does that mean? That simply means the coal, the cheapest energy coming out of that plant is today. Meaning 30 years from now, the plant will be selling more expensive electricity. Compare that to solar farm. Okay, so solar farm, the panels, the first time solar farms were making a big big push, they were barely 50% efficient. Those panels run for like 10-12 years, and again, because they were so early stage panels, they've been replaced. Same solar farm, now all they had to do is change the panel. Now they're getting more power out of it. Same surface area, no consumable. They are getting more. Now they are upgrading the inverters. Inverters are going from 90% efficient to 95% efficient. Same surface area, more power. And again, even the substation, they can upgrade the substations for increasing capacity, same surface area. And so far, only single stage, single junction solar cells. Imagine what will happen in triple junction solar cells. To give you a context, the best you can achieve in solar panel is 22% efficiency, conversion efficiency. If you have triple junction solar cell, you can achieve 51%. And it's not magical technology, it exists, you can buy it. It's just too expensive right now for mass production. And people are working on it. So there is at least a hope that in tomorrow you can have even more, basically same surface area. Same, let's say, India has 2 gigawatt solar farm. The land locked. You do not touch it, you do not expand it. You just keep upgrading the same thing. You keep getting more power. And again, because we know the ROI is a known element. It's like 5 to 8 years. Done. After that, profit. After that, more profit. So that will always keep your, either it will compensate for inflation or it can reduce. That's why, like, if you do not do renewables, you are destroying your future. Financially, remove everything else. Financially, either you bite the pain today, it's like, oh, I have to build much more high voltage DC links. Cool, that's a penalty you have to pay. And again, people, you have to pay that for any other things. So you have to do that. You have to invest a lot into, let's say, energy storage. Be it the best option is closed loop pumped hydro. Second best is some sort of thermal energy system which uses coal power plant, because again, you already have coal power plants, might as well use the asset. Okay, cool. These are two options. You have to invest in these things, and now you're sorted for future. It's like, hey, and somebody comes along, it's like, sir, we have this new turbine design, so it can improve the efficiency from 70% to, let's say, 75%. Boom. I did not change anything, but boom, the energy price came down. So that's why renewables are for economic reason. Again, if done correctly, if done properly. We're not doing that. So that's there. Fun fact, again, it does not matter. It does not matter. What's the cause of the global shift? Again, there is no global, right-wing shift. It's just left went too cuckoo and it's coming back. It's just like it left went bit too cuckoo. Like there is a point where if you are watching a dude beating a woman in Olympic, at that point it's like, okay, we went to too cuckoo. So there is a point where people starts to come back. How to save yourself from smart smackers? You can't. It's one of those things. It's like you have to know everything. Again, if let's say LTT gets scammed and all that, who are we? It's one of those things. It's like, sword and shield. Like you can have shield and then it's like they have a bigger sword. It's like, what the hell? So it's one of those things. We lost our childhood thinking I enjoy later life 20 to 30, then youth came. We lost youth thinking that getting rich, so enjoy later, and then we lost everything. I understand you, fam. I understand you. Although I lost my joy of life in this 4 years of court case, that just, again, I'm not strong enough emotionally to handle, like there are some people who's just like missile happens, like, Tui! I could not do that. So, such is life. Rise of MA protests, America, Trump victories, Canada being serious about immigration, US Trump back, everyone's cooking something. Yeah. Both federalists are voting and voting card, only 2 parties are in the options. Yeah. That's not gonna be okay. I'm the first on English. I'm first on English, your English channel. Welcome. That's the first time. Why governments and many countries like Japan losing their charm? They're stupid. See, basically, like how India enacted a policy in 1984 that poofs all Hindus. So we no longer gonna exist basically after 90 years. So take 1984, that's when we applied the law, count 3 generations, aka 30 year slots, and then we're gonna be minorities in India, aka Hindus in India would be minority, and then 30 or 40 years after that will be poofed. And again, same thing happened in Japan, and people were screaming about it. Nobody cared. It's like, okay, who cares? So at some point, it's like, if I was not even born then, and you decided to destroy my country, it's like, what can I do? What can I do? And again, if you write laws that are like designed to destroy a family unit, there is nothing worth fighting. There is nothing. There is no country. There is nothing that has any value, even half of what a family value is. So if you're like, government is like, what if a missile at this? It's like, yeah, you are forgetting the core principle of life. Life is suffering. The only question is it worth or not? They're like, what if there is no suffering? No. You are basically reliving the paradox of what we call the road to hell is paved by good intentions. They did not have bad intentions, they just destroyed the country. So that's there. Why German and many countries upon losing their charm? We don't send any remarks with Paytm. Please tell us now. See how you search in a nutshell. Dude, I do the same research as in YouTube, as in internet. There is nothing magical about me. I've been doing the same thing before ChatGPT became a thing. So you have to understand there is nothing like I do not have any magical experience where it's like, oh, this is the source I'm using. The only luxury I have is like I have studied enough of enough. Like again, I do not know enough in depth, but I know enough about enough where I can smell it. I have a vibe feeling to it. It's like does not smell right. So that allows me to use my nose to filter things out. And again, that you have to be thorough with internet will give you everything, but you have to be thorough. Most people are not thorough. It's like they click the first link on Google, and then it's like, oh, it's there or not there. Go deep into it. I do image search. I go deep into it. There are research paper. I go deep into it. Then I can collect so much more information that you will realize. It's not magical. Let that be very clear. Do not expect I have this source of that. It's very simple. It's very factual internet searching, but I do very thoroughly. And again, the more search I have done in the past, the more information I have to pull out in for tomorrow's. So it's basically I'm building a grid network in my mind where it's like, okay, this information is there, that information is there, and all are connected. And the more information I add, the better each information node becomes. So. Okay, Praveen Kumar was the last one. Rajneet Kausha, you have also sent 21 rupees. 741. Oh, sorry. The message came later, so sorry about that. Sorry about that. So what do you do for living? YouTube. Will crypto will affect Trump being elected? I do not know. Looks like every gadget in sitting in front of you. Not so much. Okay, sorry bro, I'm jobless right now. Can't donate. Not an issue. You don't have to. It's like just like some people keep doing, like that little bit helps. It's like every drop matters. Where is Future Friday? Yeah, last week was Diwali, so I was busy on that. I did work on basically Friday, so on Friday I made Monday's video, so you will see the Monday's video. So that's there. How seaweed will survive in sea storm? Have you ever seen a forest being destroyed by anything, including natural system? And you do realize seaweed is not like a root tree and all that would be destroyed by sea. It's a seaweed, man. We are not inventing it. It's a natural. Come on, man. Come on. It's like you literally are reaching a point where you might as well ask, it's like, oh, how the coral reef survives under tsunami. It's like, it does not survive human. It can survive everything else. How seaweed will survive in India? It's like, do you have problem thinking for success? What do you know? Probability thinking for success. I do not know what you're meaning. I think you either miswrote that word or something like that. Look like gadget is sitting in front of you. Yeah, I do have, like everything I have is just in this hall. So everything is here. Oh, in that regard, one of my projects has finally reached a very big point. So I've been talking about building this basically hard drive enclosure because again I got pissed off by 45 drives, super hyper horrible design. It pissed me off so much I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a better one. I made a better one. So again, better as in like how better I can make it based on the fact that it is 3D printed. So the idea is if you have hard drives, you do not want, like let's say there's a wiring, right? You do not want air flowing like this, which again, many designs do that. You never want that. Again, that's why disk JBots are generally have hard drive like this. So basically air flows through like this. Okay, you can see clearly. So there is no PCB. There is no basically you can drop in the hard drive. The wiring is on the here and nothing, no airflow infliction, and everything is exposed. Basically, the motor, the PCB, everything is exposed, and you can see through it. Again, you take a hard drive, you drop it like this. Ta-da! You can still see through it. So that's there. Ta-da! You can see complete airflow. There is no restriction. There is no fancy PCB with holes, and you can directly connect. And you connect your wirings here onto these things, and you can pull in the hard drive, pull out the hard drive. And again, I wanted a sled-less design, meaning you did not need to do anything. But this is the best I could come up with 3D design. And benefit is this also supports a 2.5 inch, again hot swappable in the same slot. It has done. Now my tomorrow's job would be to actually test it on my computer. If things work, I'm scared that it might actually work, but like, this was a very, whew, it's exciting. Again, I have one SSD. So again, this is not the SSD for my TrueNAS. I have a Samsung SSD for TrueNAS, and I have 2 mechanical hard drive. So out of the 4 slots, 3 slots would be used. It would be very interesting to try. Again, I was so angry at the design of that 45 drive, that small bay they had released. It was 8 hard drive. I was like so bad. I was like, I'm gonna make a better one. Like, I know I'm half crazy, but sometimes you see a design that is so bad, it's like, bro, I will make a better one. So that does happen. So it's there. Okay. Do you have SIP? I have manual SIP. Asus M disk writers under 7,000. Is it okay? Amazon is selling 4x write speed. I think yeah. I think it should be fine. That should be fine. What do you do? In November 2020, I use heater. November, now I sweat. Yeah. Such is life. Such is life. Such is life. Oh damn. It's 1 hour like Jack. Like Jack of all trade, but master of none. Yeah, sort of. As other billionaires making underground self-sustaining bunkers, they can survive humans without going out. You cannot. It sounds fancy, but you cannot. Psychologically, you will fall apart. Humans need human, like no matter how psychopathic you are. It sounds easy, sounds fun, but like it's a movie story. It's not logical or real. And not to mention, most things will break the moment there is no human to maintain it. It's like bunkers and all that. The sole reason it could even work is because they have never been tested. Again, it's like it's one of those things that people thought like, okay, we can build bunkers and we can stay there. Yeah, no, you will go crazy. Like it's one of those things, on paper it works, in real life it does not. So that's their because they're profitable for them. What profitable and preference. Just like Jack of Amazon, how do you suffer from information? How do you suffer from information overload? Not really. Like I do waste time, but information wise, like I know what I want to learn. So that's the good thing. Like I know what I'm looking for. I know, like for making this sort of thing, I like know what I'm doing. Okay, give me 3D printed hard drive systems. And again, this is completely my own design. Again, even the clip designs. So, and again, they're supposed to be printed like this. So. Again, but it is directly inspired from other systems and all that. So I collect in the information, crunch it, process it, and voila, I can relate. I can relate to you in this. Yeah. So I like for us, personal love you, sir. Right now I'm brokered. Hope my startup will succeed. Then sure, my love. Okay, thank you. Energy independence with nuclear or foreign reliance. Which poison would you pick? Foreign reliance, because again, nuclear poison will be directly on this earth forever. For in your country. So, and again, it's not a you know what you call. Both are stupid options. We have better options. So I do not get it. It's like, what if you have this poison versus this? What if you do not take the poison, right? Like again, India is doing good in this regard, and again, India has already started a pumped hydro projects, not closed loop, but again, better than nothing. And India is already working with E2S power, with making old coal power plants into power, basically batteries, grid scale batteries, which will solve the solar power plants grid inertia problem, and will give energy storage 2 for 1. Good. Recycling old assets 3 for 1. Good. So there's some good progress happening, but that's a little. Yeah, 1 hour is done. Oh, damn. Oh, so I think today's stream was kind of interesting. I think using Trump's name does allow far more viewers. And again, in my Hindi one, I almost reached 250 concurrent, which I only get it for SpaceX launches. So, damn. So with this, I take my leave. I'm getting tired now. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.